Let's start this critique by judging the best-known leading lady from the works of V.C. Andrews. And when she's played by Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Sally Draper, that's definitely no easy task. But let's go into it with Best Cathy. From a casting standpoint, Kristy Swanson and Kiernan Shipka were both perfect for the role of Cathy. They both looked the part, they both show Cathy's cynicism quite well in their performances, and V.C. Andrews even said not long before her death that Swanson looked exactly like she had pictured Cathy. But a character's writing is just as important as their acting and casting, so which one had that advantage? Well, I guess to answer that question, we gotta take a look at Cathy's main flaw, her pessimism. She seems to have a bad habit of whining and assuming the worst of any situation, sometimes rightfully so, sometimes not. Both incarnations showcase this, but maybe Swanson did so a bit too much, to the point where it becomes a substantial margin of her character in the movie.
Why didn't they send a car for us?
We're sad too, Christopher. It hasn't changed who we are.
I don't want to be here, Christopher. All I want is to be at home and to stay at home where Daddy's memory is.
Oh, for crying out loud, would you shut up for once? Oh, he's griping and moaning about something. She should give me a headache.
Cathy could still be pretty abrasive in the remake, but she did have many redeeming qualities to her. She was supportive to her siblings, both emotionally and with the plans to escape, and had a playful and sarcastic side to her that made her a ton of fun. It's not to say that Swanson doesn't have any of these traits at all. She does seem to have the twins' best interests at heart. She is pretty helpful in the sequence where she and Christopher try to escape the attic to go find Corinne, and she's got a couple funny lines here and there. But unfortunately, she seems more interested in blaming everything on their mother instead of doing something to help their situation. This makes her come off as less sympathetic than she was in the book or in the Lifetime version. Also, even though Kristy Swanson's a great actress, she might have oversold it in a few scenes, making her look very vulnerable. Again, these are some great performances, but because Swanson has so many of them in the movie, it's a little harder to feel for her because we get used to seeing them after a while. Kiernan Shipka also gets upset in many scenes throughout the movie, but she doesn't break down and freak out when things go wrong. Instead, she keeps her cool and tries to resolve the problem.
I want to know what kind of wickedness you're up to.
Nothing.
Nothing. Why are you trembling?
Because you keep accusing us of doing all these bad things, and I don't even know what you're talking about. Please.
We're Corinne's children.
That way, when she does have her breakdowns, we feel more emotion for her because it's indicated that the stakes are higher and she's hit her breaking point. And what's more, we see these traits growing throughout the movie as Cathy is evolving from an adolescent to a teenager. I know that Cathy starts out as a full-blown teenager in the original, and only spends about a year in captivity as opposed to 3.5 like in the book or the Lifetime film, but that's no reason not to show some character development with her. And honestly, I don't see that much difference in her from the start or the end, so it kind of hampers the coming-of-age component of the story. In the Lifetime film, on the other hand, Shipka's downer and whiny attitude seems to be dying down throughout the movie, while her maternal traits and support seem to be growing, indicating that she's becoming more of an adult mentally as well as physically. Speaking of which, Shipka has a flexible enough look to convincingly play the phases of Cathy aging from 12 to 15, and that's something that's not easy to pull off in film. And of course, there's the fact that the 87 film removed the best known component of her character, that being the incest that she develops towards Christopher, aside from a few implications here and there. What? That's really all there is to say about that, at least in this round. The last thing I want to mention is that in some scenes, Swanson doesn't show enough emotion. Like, watch this scene where Corinne comes to tell the children that Corey just died in the hospital.
There won't be a funeral, he's already been buried.
Well, he's not my daddy, so I'm just gonna stare blankly to the side and not show any emotion for him whatsoever. So, even though Kristy Swanson's a great actress and had the blessing of the original author, I still find Kiernan Shipka's portrayal better because she has a lot of likability to go with her jerkish persona, and her character seems to be strengthening throughout the story in ways that girls can look up to. Well, for the most part anyway. Point goes to the new.